Hello. How's it going?
Hello. It's going very well. Welcome to the very second episode of Apple Juice.
Yes, welcome. We are also doing this live on YouTube. We will have an Apple Juice, channel, but we will be live over there. Right now, though, we are on my channel. So James Ash, hopefully do a bit of advertising while we're here. But yeah, if you're interested in that, youtube.com/James Ash. If you want to watch the video version of the podcast. Pause now, close your podcast app, go to YouTube, and it'll be there. Bram, how are you?
I'm doing very well. I've had a pleasant evening with another new Apple keynote. So I have
Yeah.
lots of things to say, and I
hmm
think we're going to discuss them all in this episode.
We've already done a bit of chatting, obviously, when the event was going on, and it was, I guess, we agreed on this thing and then disagreed on some others. So it could be a good podcast, good reaction. That's what it's all about, though. It's all about opinions. So I guess let's just go right in from the beginning. So we started off with a nice video of California, like desert. It did make me a bit like I want holidays. You know what I mean? I want to
Yeah,
go away. I was a bit like, oh, it looks so good. But
it
yeah.
made me want to go back to the beautiful LA. That's the only place in California I visited, and I was like, oh, I want to return.
I want to go to America full stop. I'll go anywhere. But
Oh yeah,
no, so it was interesting. It was really interesting. The beginning, obviously, it was nice to see somewhere else in the world. And then we see Tim come on stage, and the first product thing we saw was TV Plus, which
oh,
was
I thought the first thing we saw was good morning.
oh yeah, good morning. How's it
Morning.
going? I feel like he was looking old though. I don't know about you. He looked white and don't know. I just thought
Not
yes. I was like, oh,
much different than before, if you ask me,
yeah.
but
Well, I thought he looked a bit older. Don't know. Maybe
maybe it's
it's
all the stress because of the Apple
the
Epic
leaks.
case. Or
It's all the leaks as well. Well, maybe maybe he's aged a week because we've seen iPhone 14 before, potentially.
yeah, after this keynote, I don't buy anything of that anymore
I am
whatsoever.
sure we will get into that. But we saw TV Plus. That was the first, like, I guess, producty things. They showed us a trailer of things coming soon, things we already knew about. I also don't know if they gave us dates, like release dates for the first time for
Yeah,
certain
they did.
things.
They did.
Hmm.
It was in the trailer.
Yeah.
So the morning show second season is coming this Friday,
Yeah. When he said
and then a
Friday,
week
I
after
lost
that,
me.
we're
I
gonna
was like, oh my
get
God, this
yeah,
week.
the week after that, we're gonna get Foundation, the new
hmm
sci-fi series.
Yeah.
And there were some other ones, but I can't really remember those. I believe there was a series with Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell.
Yeah. I think that's
Um,
mid-November.
yeah, something like that.
Some
It's
other bit.
throughout the last months of 2021. So,
There was a show. I'm not sure if it was a show or movie, but it was the one with Tom Hanks and like a robot thing and a
oh
dog.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
That
believe
looked
they,
interesting.
I believe they bought the rights for that. I believe that was
Mm.
originally meant to be released theatrically, and now it's going to be on
Is it a
Apple
movie
TV
then?
Plus. I believe it is.
Yeah, looks interesting. I like Chappie. Have you seen Chappie? So
I haven't seen it. I know it, but I
no,
haven't seen it.
looks similar. Anyway, so that was TV Plus. They gave us some numbers about Emmy nominations and the awards and all that stats, trying to hype it up a bit. But it is what
Not
it
what
is.
we're here for.
I really thought that they were going to do some sort of like maybe guess like before they had the year's trial, didn't we, and stuff. There was nothing like that though. It was just, you know,
Well,
was
yeah,
it?
those are ending now that
Mm,
the service is, I wouldn't say getting popular, but getting more, well, maybe a bit more popular than before. I believe they dropped some of the benefits of having, like, if you bought a new iPhone, you got it for a year. I believe it's
yeah,
now like 6 months.
yeah,
So,
interesting. We'll have to see though, as you say, we'll have to see what's coming soon, and yeah. So that was, I guess, the first product, but not really product. First actual product was iPad, and we got an update to the budget, $330 odd, something like that.
yeah, I don't get why Apple keeps devoting stage time to this iPad, because it's like,
Yeah,
it's a new chip. Well, new, it's a 2-year-old chip. Okay. Yeah, now it has the center stage function with the webcam, same
yeah,
as on the iPad Pro, but we already know what that is and how that works. So why spend keynote time on it? Although I must say, over the last year, these online events have been quite to the point, I feel, with no like fluff or just waste of times.
Hmm.
This keynote had loads of times where I was like, get on with it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I was the same. Normally, I'm quite focused on an event, and I'm not even texting people, but I was texting you, text my sister as well. You know. So as you say, yeah, they probably basically just could have read like a press release out or something. Didn't really feel like it needed the stage time, as you say. I agree. It's the
No.
same thing all the time.
What did
I
deserve it
guess
though was the
what's
next
that?
product. What did deserve it though was the next
The
product,
next
I
product, yep,
think.
iPad Mini got a massive redesign. In a nutshell, if you haven't seen it, it basically looks like a mini 2018 Pro, with the one camera on the back, just squashed
It's
down.
basically a shrunken down iPad Air.
Yeah,
That's
in
what
a
I call
nutshell.
it.
Yep. I actually forgot about the iPad Air. It's come in a nice purple color, though. I like that.
Yeah, it comes in like a space gray that we always get, and then
Hmm.
a new substitute for silver that's called Starlight, and then a purple one and a pink kind of color, which I think are very weird choices
Yeah,
in general.
they are. And the
Because they're
Starlight
all
is
like,
nothing.
I know it's generally not okay to like associate colors with gender, but
Hmm.
normally you get like some kind of blue or I don't know, green to sort of switch things up. But now it's like you have like purple and pink, and then something that's kind of gold. Like
Mm,
I would have just put the iPad Air colors in it, to be honest. Like
yeah,
the blue, the pink, the green, the silver. But it's a really nice new design, I think, in
yeah.
general.
It's interesting. The iPad Mini for me. I'm an iPad Pro user, 13-inch, but this is like my perfect product from an iPad point of view. I found myself, I guess, not using my iPad Pro at all, and when I am using it for like work, I'm just
Hmm.
just on my desk flat taking notes. This would be perfect because this is just takes notes. That's what I'm using it for.
Yeah,
So,
and also it
I,
doesn't have like a keyboard or anything. It's just a tablet, and I
yeah.
think that's the thing that sometimes gets forgotten with iPads nowadays. People treat it like it's a laptop, but I feel
Hmm.
less and less people start using it as an actual tablet.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what I really like about the Magic Keyboard case. It encourages taking it off and using it, like with the Apple Pencil, and just using it as was originally intended with a tablet.
Mm.
But yeah, I personally have an 11-inch iPad Pro from 2019, and that thing's gonna suit me for, I think, easily 2 to 3 more years. So
Yeah.
I like the Mini. I've had an iPad Mini before, but I'm not in the market for a new one. Let's put it this way.
I would if I could sell my Pro because I've got a keyboard as well, so I can get a lot back. I'd be, left with more money. I've ordered this. I have ordered one 64 gigabyte
Mm.
in Starlight
Ah,
to do a video on the channel as well as look at the color.
yeah. And
Um,
Starlight is the new silver,
yeah.
sort of.
So I have ordered one. Interesting though, I ordered 64 gig, but 256 is the second option. There's no 128 on the Air.
Mm.
And it's 619. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if it's a good enough screen to watch films on and that type of stuff. Because I do use that on a plane, when I go away and stuff. But like that's once or twice a year. So interesting nonetheless. So iPad Mini, big update, USB-C as well. We didn't mention that. Starts at 479 here in the UK and £619. Yeah, interesting. So that's iPad. No iPad Pro update, no iPad Air updates, just the Mini, as well as as we said, the iPad they should never mention on stage again.
What's weird now, I guess, because I think the iPad Mini now has a faster chip than the iPad Air. Because the iPad Air has an A14, by the way, and the Mini has an A15. So
Mm,
technically, the Mini is faster and has 5G. I don't think the Air
mm.
has 5G either.
Okay, so that goes back to the comment we've got here from Classic Bot, who, as I said, we are live, but you just said $100 difference between the Air and the Mini. So I guess if it is $100 more for the Air, then it could be an easy win. But the reason why is the chip is better in the Mini. That's what you're saying, Brown.
You're probably just paying for the size in that case, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So the Mini's actually better than the Air. So we could see the Air, I guess, get a new chip potentially. Not sure.
I
But then the
guess maybe
price,
not this year, but
yeah,
maybe next
maybe
year.
early next year.
Normally, the Air and the Mini last about 2 to 3 years
Hmm.
in an update cycle. So who knows?
Interesting. Yep, and that's a lot of people would say, and we got a comment there, the iPad Mini looks a bigger iPhone. And it does, but it's a bigger iPhone.
I mean, the iPad has always looked like a bigger iPhone.
Yeah.
So
You
ever since the beginning. So
yeah, it used to be like a big iPod Touch way back in the,
yeah.
I guess, because yeah. A15
But yeah, that's not a bad thing, I think.
Yeah. No, it's true. A15 ain't necessary. A14 is way more than enough. I agree with you. Brown probably does as well, especially for an iPad. But that's where the price difference is.
Yeah, but it's weird that I think it's weird that you're paying for more for an iPad that on paper has a worse chip. I think that's weird, especially if it's smaller as well. So probably the Air will be updated soon as well.
Yeah. There we go. So there's iPad. Let's move on from iPad. We had that. That was a good, I guess, start to the event. iPad Air, iPad Mini rather.
You've ordered one, so I guess you liked it.
I have. If I get it though, it'd be in black. I think 256. I only ordered the color to look at the color for Apple Watch, which we will segue into now.
Yeah, because that was the next announcement. The new Apple Watch, the new squared-off design Apple Watch that was leaked months before by our good friend John Posner.
Yep.
And was like for sure, and everyone collaborated on it, and it turned out to be false. It's basically another version of the Series 4 design, which I personally don't mind because I think the squared off looks good in renders and on promo material, but I think it doesn't look as good on the wrist as the current design. So I don't mind it too much. It's nice that we have a larger screen now, but I'm not gonna. Yeah. There's like no incentive for me to upgrade personally from my Series 6. And I got a Series 6 last year as a gift somewhere, and before that I had a Series 4. And if I still had my Series 4 right now, I wouldn't have upgraded either, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, Apple Watch was the one product I was ready to press buy on in terms of had the money saved, ready to go, excited. Bram said that he's on Series 6. I'm on Series 4. So I had mine in 2018. So it's a good 3 years old now. And yeah, this whole Starlight thing has really thrown me in terms of the color, because with the Apple Watch, color is so like easy to be like, oh, it's just a color. But when you've got like silver bands, that I got the Milanese, which is £149. If that looks ridiculous with this new color, then it's the whole band I can't use.
But to be fair, the metal bands were always designed for the stainless steel watches.
Yeah, no, true.
So,
but they look better. They look okay with this aluminium one anyway.
Yeah,
but I know you mean. And that's where I was looking at Series 6 because this is actually delayed until later in the autumn.
Yeah, there's even no date for it. So there's
there was a shortage. I know Gurman said there was a big shortage on these. But I don't think he said they would, not have a date. I think he said do the October shipping. So
yeah, who knows? Later in the year. So, although I do think that maybe a big thing over here, I live in the Netherlands, is like we haven't had the cellular version of the Apple Watch yet. It's ever since Series 3 we've been waiting for it. So we also couldn't get the stainless steel models over here. But now I'm checking the Dutch website, and there are stainless steel models listed, and there are also photos of the aluminium one with like the red ring around it. So maybe we'll finally get a cellular Apple Watch over here, which would be
And then
great.
Bram could be buying it.
Nah,
No.
not with the other product that's coming up.
Yeah.
Although
So
one thing with the Apple Watch is absolutely ridiculous. Apple is still selling the Series 3, a
yeah,
watch
that's
that's
true.
barely updatable even,
Mhm.
that has just an older design, an old screen size, so it's very inconvenient for app developers that still have to make sure that this model keeps getting updated.
Yeah.
It's like, it's why Apple? Why still sell this?
I think I said that last year with the Series 6. Why did they take the Series 4 away? Why not put the Series 4, as the Series 3?
Like, I don't know what's a worse buy, the Apple Watch Series 3 or the Apple TV HD. I think they're both like the worst things you can buy from Apple right now. No one should buy those. Absolutely no one.
Mm-hmm. So I guess what was the features of the Apple Watch? It was a bit more rugged. It's a bigger size, so it's 45 millimeters and 41 millimeters now.
It's a larger display.
Larger display then, yeah.
It probably has a new chip, although I don't know if they talked about that. The glass is tougher. Yeah,
Doesn't seem to be no new sensors.
No, it's pretty much an S upgrade.
Yeah. Charges in 8 minutes. Provides 8 hours of sleep tracking if you charge it for 8 minutes. Quite nice.
Yeah, it had a whole new charging system, and when they said that, I thought they were going to announce that it's what's going to be compatible with Qi wireless charging, but that isn't the case. So, oh well.
Yep. They've got some new cycling features, which I did think of you, Bram. You cycle quite a lot.
I cycle quite a lot, but so that's nice. But
that'll be available.
I think those were mostly focused on like actual like hiking or like biking on a BMX or something, and I just bike around the city. So
yeah,
I don't know if it's that
well,
useful for me.
The pause one will it senses when you actually stop.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I went on a ride the other day actually, and I forgot to pause. But I forgot to resume after, and then I rode.
But that's also coming. That's also coming to the regular watches with the update. So, oh well.
So yeah, my plans there is I was going to buy one. I'm going to stick with my Series 4 for another year. Keep my money.
I think that's a very valid thing to do. I don't think it's worth the upgrade yet. Maybe later.
No. Even if the color comes, I'm going to have gone past the color now. Even if the color was silver, it's just a bit like, there's not much change. And it's not like my current Series 4 is like cracked or anything. It's decent. Even the battery, like, what are we now? 8 o'clock at night, 51%.
Yeah.
I'm fine. So there's Apple Watch. If anyone's thinking as well, because I didn't think about this, I wonder if the Nike is still silver. It's not. It's Starlight.
It does have a pretty ugly new band though, the Nike one. I think
I did see that retro Nike logo in it or something.
Yeah, it was like the swoosh, but yeah, it's a bit too tacky for me personally.
Yeah. So, there's Apple Watch. Let's now segue into iPhone. This is our territory.
The main event.
The main, I guess, September. We're back. I guess firstly to mention, we're back in September launch for iPhone.
Yeah.
Last year we wasn't because of COVID. I guess now we're back to normal, I guess. So yeah, iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Pro announced. Let's talk more first with iPhone 13.
Yeah, it's called 13, but it's basically a 12S. Yeah.
Bram, I know you're very keen on this model, so do you want to delve in?
Yeah, I'm looking into getting a new iPhone, and I was in the Pro camp first, but I think for what I use my phone for, the regular 13 is more than capable, and especially because I absolutely adore the new blue color. I think it's so good. It's like blue, but has a tiny bit of green in it, and it's like nice color. It's so much better than the blue from the iPhone 12, which I personally didn't really like. But Oh yeah, I love that new blue color. That's amazing. That's maybe my whole reason to upgrade. No, that's not true. No, we have quite a few upgrades. We have a new chip, the A15. Yeah, it's faster. I don't think even my 11 is that slow, to be honest. The battery though is 2.5 hours longer on the regular 12 and 1.5 hours longer on the mini, which I think is probably mostly good for the mini, which apparently didn't have that great of battery life.
Yeah.
The camera system is improved. The sensor stiff stabilization that was introduced in the Pro Max last year is now in the across the whole lineup, so in the 13 and 13 mini as well. But the coolest thing is a new cinematic video mode, and they showed off a demo that's almost looked like Knives Out. But it's emulates more of like a filmic quality with like the focus. So it keeps focus on the subject, and then when the subject looks away, the focus shifts to the end. It's hard to explain. You really have to see it. But apparently it can be edited afterwards as well. But there's one thing I already found out about it. It only works at 1080p at 30 frames a second. So not even in 4K. So that's a bit of a bummer, in my opinion.
Is that just for the standard 13 or the Pro?
No, both. They both only shoot this in 1080p. 1080p, 30 frames a second.
Yeah, because I just seen a tweet from MKBHD, which I've kept aside. Have you seen that? But the iPhone 13 Pro shoots 4K 30 FPS in ProRes video. But if you get the iPhone 13 Pro in 128 gigabytes, it's just limited to 1080p, no 4K. So there's different model Pros as well with camera based on storage, which I think is the first time, really. Yeah,
it makes sense. But maybe that also
storage thing,
explains that. Yeah, maybe they should just start with 256 from now.
I think for Pros they should.
Probably.
Then add $100 on.
But we still have the mini as well, which is probably going to be, as rumors are saying, the last mini iPhone. So that's sad. If you want it, get it. I guess.
Yeah. Get it, sure.
But otherwise, is there anything else new? Let's see, we have MagSafe. Oh, we have a new MagSafe wallet that's updated to include like AirTag technology. So if you lose your MagSafe wallet, you can just track it with the Find My app. Otherwise, we have a new photo, sort of your preference mode. So you can have they're not like filters, but they sort of take what you like in a photo and like enhance it. So like with contrast and more vibrant, warmer color, cooler color, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They only mentioned in the keynote at the iPhone 13 Pro part, and then they quickly said, but it's also on iPhone 13. So weird. I think that's about it. About what's new. The storage now starts at 128 standards, whilst it was 64 last year.
Yeah.
And apparently the entire inside has been redesigned to allocate a larger battery and just more optimized for the size, I guess.
It's good.
Although there's one interesting thing now is that the A15 chip in this iPhone 13 is worse than the one in the 13 Pro. And normally they always had the same chip. So that's new.
So you are
and of course, almost forgot it, but a smaller notch. It's less wide. Apparently, it is a bit deeper. I saw a tweet, so it sticks out more, southways, so to say. But the width is smaller, so it's kind of weird to look at it because it almost looks like a fake iPhone because we've been used to the notch we've had since the iPhone 10, but it is a bit smaller.
It's going in the right direction to get away from the notch, which a lot of people don't like the thought of. I know you said the same before.
Yeah, for me, it's like I saw those leaks of the iPhone 14 without a notch, but I personally would prefer a notch compared to like a hole punch. Because I feel a hole punch is really like sort of like a halfway step. And for me, I just looking at it, I haven't used one before, but I think that would be more distracting for me than a notch that we have now. But maybe that's I've never used a hole punch, but just looking at it, that's what I would think.
I've always thought, I don't know if you've seen the first Galaxy Fold. I don't know if it's in the latest Fold, but they had like the notch on the left-hand side rather than in the middle. I've always liked that, just like on the one side, just have a black bit on the corner. I don't know if that would ever be a thing. I guess there's one thing we did mention, which was center stage seemed to be on everything, iPad, but it wasn't on iPhone.
Yeah.
Which we thought it would be. We did say.
But then again, it's kind of makes sense, I guess, because with the iPad, you put it down and then it follows you. But I don't think people put an iPhone down.
No,
generally. So it's weird, but I get it.
So iPhone 13 mini starts at £679 here in the UK, and then £779 for the standard iPhone 13. Both come in pink, blue, midnight, which is black, starlight, which is the new silver, product red, and starting storage is 128 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes, and 512 gigabytes. £100 increments for each, except 512, which would be 1,079.
So much like silver, black has also been eliminated, or space gray, because midnight is like a very, very, very deep blue that's almost black, but it still looks blue.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting. The midnight and starlight. First time I think Apple's ever got rid of black, space gray, silver. Silver's been around.
Silver is, I still find the strangest one, because like Apple makes like everything in silver. It's like even a new iMac, for instance.
It's like the trademark, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Bram, what are you getting out of the iPhone 13?
I'm definitely getting a blue iPhone 13 with 256 gigs. That's going to be my model.
Nice. I like that blue. But yep, nice. For me, I'm Pro Max user, so I know it's enticed to Pro features, as some people would be, but if they did like a Max version for standard iPhone 13, I would get that. But I guess it's a nice segue into the Pro.
I looked at the Pro as well before, and I really like the Pro Max, but I just feel that I would use my iPad less if I got a Pro Max, which
is a good point.
Yeah, that's like it detriments my iPad usage. Especially, I think for you as well, like comparing a Pro Max to an iPad Mini, it's not that different.
Be intriguing because I should get them both on the same day.
Yeah.
So be intriguing. I have had that before, though. I had a 7 Plus or 6S Plus with an iPad Mini. That was my setup. Just enjoyed it. Like in bed, it was just nicer to have the iPad Mini than the iPhone was always on the side and stuff. It depends on your use case, doesn't it? Everyone's different. So iPhone 13 Pro then comes in a Sierra blue. We get a silver, no starlight, just silver, a graphite as well as gold. And I guess some of the biggest takeaways from this, as Bram said, is we do get the smaller notch. But as I said earlier, you do get the Pro Max size, so 6.7 inch, as well as 6.1 for the standard Pro.
So it feels even smaller on the Pro Max, the notch that is.
What else was on there? So cameras, again, new cameras, but the cameras were great before anyway. We do get the same cinematic mode that we said earlier, and also the dark mode. And this is what has really annoyed me about iPhone. Like, I've already sold my phone, so I'm kind of gonna have to get this phone. But if I had my 12 now, I wouldn't upgrade, because there's a lot of the features. When you scroll down, night mode is like right at the top, which was the flagship feature of last year.
Well, it's an improved night mode. So.
Yeah, but it's still good before. I don't think it's worth spending $1,000 plus every year. There was no justification for me, really, which is why I don't like the naming. I feel like 12S should have been this phone.
Yeah, but I don't think they want to use the S branding anymore.
No, I know.
Think it's more. I prefer just using numbers. The thing I would prefer the most is just call it iPhone and then the 2021 iPhone. But I don't think they're gonna do that. So.
that would be the best, actually. Just the year defines it, which basically kind of iPad does that in a way.
Yeah.
iPad Pro is just iPad Pro, but it's the 2018, 2020, 21, whatever. So we basically get everything we had last year, maybe a little bit improved. 3 new cameras, telephoto, ultra wide, wide. The battery life is improved as well, 2.5 hours more on a Pro Max, which, to be honest, is a nice thing for me because I was struggling. I was running out of battery come the end of the day, so
You don't
that'll be
hear that
nice.
a lot from a Pro Max user.
Yeah, I was running out because I film quite a lot on my phone. My phone is my camera a lot of the time, so that's a nice addition for me. The standard 13 Pro gets an hour and a half more, so still an improvement. Obviously 5G, more 5G bands as carriers release them, iOS 15. And yeah, and the biggest thing for me in the UK is we've actually had a price reduction. The rumor of a price increase. In America, it's still the same prices, $999 for a standard Pro or $1099 for a Pro Max. But in the UK, it's actually dropped by 50 for each. I think in Europe, Bram, for yourself with euros.
Yeah, I believe the regular ones have dropped in price from 50 euros, and I believe the Pros are still the same price, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure about that, but yeah. I believe so.
Mine have dropped. Both of them have dropped in the UK. So for me, I wanted to get a higher storage, 256, because last year I had 128, which I maxed out. But now I'm going to be paying the same price a month. So that's nice. So I'm getting silver 256 because I want to get the MagSafe case, clear case with the white circle. Yeah. So I think it'll hide.
But we haven't really talked about the Pro yet, about what it does with the cameras.
Well, the cinematic mode.
Well, no, like it has a whole nother camera system. Like we haven't talked about the Pro yet at all. What it does.
What does it do then? Enlighten me.
Well, as before, it has a triple camera system, so a telephoto, a wide angle, and an ultra wide angle. The ultra wide angle is improved also compared to the regular 13, so now it has autofocus and it captures more light. The regular camera, so the wide lens, also is improved, but I think those are kind of the same as the regular iPhone 13. And the telephoto is different as well. Now it zooms in 3 times, so 3x zoom. It was 2.5 last year on the Pro Max and 2 on the regular Pro. But now on both, it's a 3x optical zoom, which is nice, I guess, if you use zoom a lot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I believe the features are kind of the same as on the regular 13. The only thing you get now extra is that ProRes video is coming to the iPhone Pro cameras. So much like RAW last year, you now will get ProRes as well, which is like the sort of uncompressed video system that you can use in stuff like Final Cut. So if you really use your phone for filming, that's a good thing because then you can edit it better. And you can also do macro photography and videography on the Pro line as well. So if you want to get really close to a subject like a small bird or something like that, that's possible now. And of course, the big thing that's different is the display, because it displays a 120 hertz refresh rate. What do you think about that?
I feel like it's all mediocre still. Like I'm finding it hard. I'm getting this phone, and it contradicts myself because I'm getting it. But I just feel like every year with iPhone for the last 3 years, since the 11 Pro, 12 Pro, now 13 Pro, they're like the same phone. Like I don't see much difference in them at all. Like Night Pros, like there's all these things which I think the general consumer, even a prosumer, they had that like Catherine Bigelow doing this, like with an iPhone on a stick in mud. I don't know who's going to do that.
Well, yeah, it's made for pros, I guess. And I know that, generally photographers that shoot on phones tend to shoot with iPhones because the quality is better
Yeah,
in that way, especially with video.
but if you're
So
a serious photographer, you'd have a camera and stuff.
yeah, but it's nice to always have one in your pocket. That's also good.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I think I'm talking from the point of view of like, I guess upgrading like every year, or
Yeah,
what's
but that's the thing. Most people don't and shouldn't upgrade every year.
hmm,
Like
what's
these phones aren't made for people that come from a 12 or 12 Pro. These are made for 11 or earlier.
but then you've got Apple do an iPhone upgrade program.
Yeah, but that's a choice. Like most people just stick to their phones every 2 to 3 years. And if you look at it like that, there are loads of improvements. But if you upgrade every year, yeah, then there isn't going to be that much different every single year.
I don't
I
think
think
if
in
I had an
general,
11
this
Pro Max, it's not that much different.
well, I
I
don't
don't
know
think.
if you look at it, like you have a whole improved camera system with a new technique with the sensor shift. You have a whole new design. You have a bigger display. You have a display with a higher brightness. That's also new in this year on the Pro. The display is brighter. 120 hertz. You have a faster chip,
Yeah,
MagSafe, 5G. There's plenty,
it's
plenty enough difference.
but I'm sure like the 11 is still like a relevant, relevant phone. I don't know. I
I,
just
th-
still think it's
I
good.
find it weird that you're the one that upgrades your phone every single year,
Yeah, no,
but
no,
you're
this
the
is what I
one
mean.
that's now complaining that there's not much
This
new
is what I
things every
mean.
year.
This is what I mean. People used to upgrade my phone. Like you go from a 4S to a 5, big change. 5 to 5S, we had like Touch ID and like obviously the improved chip and stuff. I think it was also a little bit thinner, but there seem to be different things every year. Then 6 to 6S, the screen change, the pressure depth thing. There seem to be more, I guess, hardware, which were then software features. Whereas now it's like, oh yeah, new camera. They count the new camera as this thing, as in the same bracket as like Touch ID. What's the flagship feature of this new phone compared to the last one? To me, it should be
120
Touch ID
hertz.
as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like I think you see it from the wrong perspective. Like for people generally don't upgrade every year, and if you look at it like that, there's
Hmm.
plenty of new things to be found.
No, I know. I disagree. I think I think it's where Apple's going now, and this is where I'm, I guess, a bit annoyed by them as a company because the whole Mac's, yeah, my Mac's great, but we've made this amazing new chip. We're just going to stick her in the same design and take Intel out, and we're just going to put this new chip in. I think it's lazy. I think it's a lot of it's lazy recently with Apple
Well,
because
we've had a whole new iMac that has been
yeah,
redesigned. We're
no,
going to
there
get a
is,
new MacBook Pro that's redesigned.
but
Like I think this is a bit like even with the MacBook, like I think the MacBook Air, even though it's like the older design, it's an incredible computer with amazing battery life, great performance.
yeah, but
So,
they just designed a chip and just chuck this chip in there.
but yeah,
They haven't.
you don't see a lot of companies making a whole brand new laptop every like 2 years. It's like people generally keep the same design for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense though, I guess, to not immediately make the biggest upgrade ever. You start off with these laptops that are like have the new chip in it, sort of tested mostly,
Mm-hmm.
like, and then you already see with the iMacs a couple of months later that has a whole new design. We're gonna get a MacBook Pro with a new design in a couple of weeks, probably. So no,
Yeah.
I don't really agree with this. I think there are things to be found here.
Well, it's good to have a debate. It's a good chance to have a debate. If anyone, I guess, listening wants to comment on the YouTube stream, then please do, because it's one that I feel quite strongly about with Apple recently. I feel like a lot of their events are a bit lackluster. That's making me. I think I said to you, Bram, off streams, obviously, and off the podcast rather. I'm a bit sick of Tim Cook's Apple right now. Like, just I'm pretty much done with it. I feel like the focus is Apple TV Plus and Fitness Plus, and people pay monthly for Apple Music, and people pay monthly for iCloud storage. It's just all a cash cow now. It's all just we're gonna up the prices of phones. Way back when we had like iPad 2, iPad 4, we had like big upgrades, but also the price of those devices were like 499, 599. Now they're
Yeah,
like
but
999, 1199. It's just,
but even like
know.
it's good to look good with rose-colored glass, but compare like the upgrade from the iPhone 4 to the iPhone 4S. You had a faster chip, a camera that was better, and Siri. But that was it. It was like
I'm white.
even then it was like, and even comparing like the iPhone 4S to the iPhone 5, the iPhone 5 looked different, it had a whole new design, but that was like the camera was virtually the same. So that's comparable to like the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 12, which also had a new design, but the camera stayed largely the same. Well, it didn't actually, because the Pro Max had an upgrade. Like I think it's easy to look back on like the iPhone 4 days where it was all new, but
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
the
know.
thing now, isn't it? That's the thing now.
I think that it's a bit like rose-colored glasses. I think.
Yeah.
Even looking at like the 6 to the 6S wasn't as new as well. Like you had 3D touch, but now that doesn't even exist anymore because no one used it. So
I think this is an entire episode on the podcast himself, like looking back at Apple and like the history to now type of thing. If you're interested in that, let us know, guys. We'll be sure to do that. I guess rounding out the event, because this is what the podcast is about. For me, I guess we was hoping we'd see AirPods. They were heavily rumored, more rumored than the iPad Mini.
It's weird that they didn't show up, especially because they spent time on stuff like the budget iPad that didn't have the biggest upgrade, but no AirPods. I really expect those.
It must be maybe a Christmas or a holiday thing closer to Christmas. It's probably best for them, maybe. And as we say, we should be getting an event in October, potentially, maybe with MacBook Pros. So we could see the AirPods there.
That's the main thing we're still expecting from this year, right? The MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
And AirPods then, I guess. But
I feel now, because iPad Mini was announced now, I think we're going to see the new Mac Mini this year, because that's rumored to be ready as well.
The one with the M1X chip, like the upgraded model, right?
Yeah. But a new design. I think it's got like a glass top. So that, I think we'll see that this year, my prediction. I don't think we'll see the iMac Pro this year.
No. Maybe a preview.
I'm hopeful we don't. I can't afford it this year. But
maybe we'll get like a preview, much like the original iMac Pro, I mean.
Potentially see a preview. So
I think we're going to get a whole keynote just focused on MacBook Pro, much like in 2016.
Yeah,
it's going to be a one big apology event for the MacBook Pro, because it's basically going back to what it was 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, I guess so. Rounding out the episode, Bram, from the event, what are you picking up? I think everyone knows the answer, but
just the iPhone.
Just the iPhone.
iPhone 13.
Yeah. For myself, it's just the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I was hoping to get a watch, as I said, and I'm going to try out the Mini. So watch your space. I may get rid of my Pro and get a Mini if I like it. So, but that is this week's episode of Apple Juice. Thanks, Bram, for coming on. Of course, the co-host, partner in crime. Got a bit tense then. Got a bit tense in this show.
Yeah. Discussions.
No, it was good. This is it's all about we're all about speaking your opinion. I feel like I can say mine. You say yours. Is what it is. So it's all good. So stay tuned for the next episode, which will be out on the 28th of September, where we're going to be having our iPhone 13s for a few days. Hopefully we get them on day one.
Well, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to buy it immediately.
Oh, of
maybe
course,
later. So
yeah. Well, fingers crossed. I'll also have a reaction to iPad Mini, which I will be doing a video on YouTube. So if you want to see that, youtube.com/JamesAsh, as well as my unboxing for the iPhone. Both will be out on the same day. But yeah, that's the Apple Juice podcast. Thanks everybody for listening. Take it easy, and if you want to watch the stream, as we said, please go and do it. So see you soon. Goodbye.
See you soon. Thanks for listening.
There we go. There is the live.
Weird, my levels are way lower than they used to be. Like the recording level.